a unique situation. I had a customer call me, and so he asked for a service call, how much a service call would be, right? And then, okay, so how you guys doing? So this is kind of a unique call. A customer asked me how much I would charge to come out and rekey a bunch of locks. I gave him my price, right? And he then asked me for how much would I charge per cylinder. So I gave him a per cylinder price if he brought them to me. Well, then he says, what about if you show up and I have them off the house? So this is kind of a unique, I've never pulled up and had somebody take all the locks off the house. Yeah, I'm just, as far as billing wise, I'm all a little confused on billing, what the best. All right, so everything is going to work off of this one now. So let me find, there's other keys floating around. Each bag has like its own key and its own stuff and its own whatever. Okay, so all right, so let's do that. That's going to go there. Here's our universal key. Got things kind of weird, but let's see what we can figure out. So this is going to be what everything is keyed to. So there's one. This is the other side. That can't be the other side of that lock. Because that's a single that he has this bag in, so. So how you doing there? Hey guys, if you would, hit that like button up there. This is kind of a unique, so this is an actual service call. I'm coming out and I'm charging them just a flat per lock rate, which is cheaper than what I would normally charge. You know, it's interesting. So just kind of one of those live to fight another day type of things, you know? Just do it. Let's make the customer happy. I'm not making what I would have done, but the customer feels that they're involved because they've taken all the locks off of the doors and whatever. So that's what we're doing. I've showed up. He's given me several bags with several different locks in it. He's given me a key that he wants everything keyed to. And so we're going to do that. Kind of found a way out around the service call, I guess. But no big deal. No big deal at all. So how's everybody doing? I was on the live earlier today for quite a while, but then my phone rang, and then my phone rang again, then my phone rang again, then my phone rang again, then I was done with the job, so I had to leave. What do you got? The heck is that? Well, that's kind of a weird message, huh? Hey, what's up? Sorry I bailed on you guys earlier, Matt. The phone rang and then the ring again, ring again, ring again, what have you. So, one of those type of things. So, all right, Stuck. I'm gonna have to block you here in a second, man. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to block him here in a second. That's no fun. But you gotta mellow out a little bit, dude. So yeah, this is kind of one of these weird jobs, right? I have a set price. I have like a set price on a service call. Come out and I do the first 5 locks for X amount of money, and then I charge X amount of money for each additional lock beyond 5. But this guy, I'm not sure how the conversation has gone, but somehow I've ended up over here at his house. He's taken off all the locks, and I'm just charging him a per lock price. I don't know. Well, yeah, no, I know you said hi. I'm just not sure what all that other spam stuff is. Not sure what it is you're trying to say, type of thing. No, no offense, but that's all. That's the reason. As long as you're not spamming a bunch of stuff on there, I'm okay. Yeah, I usually do too. So I usually do, X amount for the first 5 locks. And then if you got like 3 or 4 lock, whatever it is, it still covers the first 5. And then after that, I have yeah. But for the first time, in 11 years, I've showed up at a place that a customer, they're going to put them all back on, and they have just handed me a bag of locks and said, "Do it." So, all right. So 3. Yeah, that's kind of weird, man. Kind of weird. I gotta say. Any idea what he's talking about? You had a phone call. Yeah, I get them. You know when I get them, it freezes up, right? Mine freezes up. I've been like really busy the last 3 weeks. I don't know what has popped up in the air, but the last probably 3 weeks I've been just busier than normal. And I push jobs over to tomorrow. I keep filling up the schedule, but I'm getting through things fast enough right now that I'm pulling jobs from tomorrow and doing them today. And that's happened the last 4 days in a row now. So I would be in the area, be ahead of schedule a little bit. I would, since I'm close to a job I'm going to be at tomorrow. I just go ahead and do it and what have you. So so what is it exactly that you're talking about there, Stuck? I don't understand what that whole thing is about there. Walk me through it, man. Tell me what's going on. Talk to me, Goose. Oh, probably ought to count these. 1, 2, 3. Guess I'll just leave them all here. Yeah, it kind of sounds weird. But let's see what the. Tell me what you're talking about there. The old schlag. You don't get too many of these in your hand, do you? You usually just pull them off the door. I can't tell you last time I've had the whole lever in my hand like that, right? Let's push it. Booyah. Just like that. I go ahead and mark the top, right? Because I don't know where it goes, and it can go multiple ways. But when I pull them off, I always mark the top. Put a couple lines, I don't know if you can see them right there. Put a couple marks up top. That way I know which way it goes back on. Like, once them all keyed alike. Perfect. So, yeah. And then I'll just help them out where I can. No sense in fighting it or arguing it. Been steady for you. 24 Accord. Oh, you're doing all them brand new ones. You're doing all them brand new vehicles. All right. So I had an issue yesterday or 2 days ago with the Ford F350. It was an AC company. They called me out. Their key stopped working. It turns everything, lock, unlock. It's a flip key. What year was it? I want to say about it. I think it might have been an 18 F350. So I traced the key on my 3D Elite. And first of all, the key blink was really, really hard to keep in my jaw. So I'd tighten up the jaws, and as I would tighten up the jaws, the key would start to twist. And if I put any pressure on it, boom, it would pop right out. Boom, I'm like, what in the heck? So it traced the key. It gave me a code, but yet when I cut, so I always cut, blanks. I got some blanks here before I cut any, real flip keys. Uh, it wouldn't cut. It cut it totally different. Like two of them were totally different looking than everything else. I couldn't figure out what the hell. So I even went manually. I went manually off, entering them in after going off of that code. Still the same thing. I ended up cutting like 6 different blanks, and no matter what I did, no matter what I did, I could not to copy. So I'm not sure. I don't know if I've had. I think I've had that before. So I thought maybe, first thing I go through, I'm thinking, all right, well, one that pulled a code, right? So I thought, okay, what the hell? Maybe it's out of calibration. Maybe it just beat up on the road or what have you. Uh, then so then I have like a push button on my Elite. Well, then I got another program on there that I can run uh, Instacode. I think it's Instacode, the 25 series. So I can go through that. Also, did that, pulled up the same code, cut the key, same key, wouldn't work. And I'm like, I just didn't know. I've never had that happen to me. So I was there about 2.5 hours. I was trying to leashy the door, right? Trying to leashy the door, couldn't leashy it. It was just a nightmare. It was just a nightmare. Meanwhile, 2.5 hours into that whole job, I was in there about 2.5 hours the whole time trying to figure it out and what have you. Couldn't figure it out. Couldn't do it. Evidently, ended up not doing it. So I didn't charge him, right? I didn't charge him for anything because I couldn't get it done. It was really cool that the company said, "Hey, let us pay you for your time. Charge us what you would have charged us because we're going to 2 keys." And the price I was up there. I was up there, so I lost quite a bit of money, a lot of money, matter of fact. And the company said, "Hey, charge us for one, or charge us for time and stuff that you're out there." And because I told her that, yeah, I'm not going to charge you because, and she's like, "Why?" I said, "Well, because I didn't get anything done, right? Although I did a lot of work, I couldn't provide a key for you. So, uh, and I kind of just take it as at that point it's just kind of a learning thing. You got to chalk it down as education. That happens sometimes. Not very often does it ever happen, but when it does, right, for me, I just bit the bullet, right? I don't want to ever get in a scenario because I did get in a scenario when I first started this company of charging somebody, for your time or what have you. Well, then they want to end up writing a bad review or something on you that, hey, they charged me and they didn't even do. So I'm going to stay all the way away from any of that stuff. So hang on. Does it? Yeah. Have a shoulder. Yeah. You have to make sure they aren't clamping on the shoulder. Yeah, it wasn't on the shoulder. This has a stop. I can use a stop. I was using a number 2. So it wasn't on the shoulder. And that's the first thing I looked at. But I don't know. It was just one of those. Yeah, so that same key worked the ignition and the door. It's smooth. Smooth. Nothing I did worked. Nothing I did worked. Then I couldn't pick it with the leashy, that which adds insult to injury. Another guy that I usually call, he's been at it for a long time, and all he does is vehicles. When I get stuck on something, I usually call him, and he ends up giving me a hug and walking me through it. as as I want to jump off my chair handcuffed. Uh, so anyway, that was kind of, yeah, that was. But it was cool that they called and said, or they messaged me back, said, "Hey, bill us something, bill us, you know, or if you want to trade something, whatever." And I do work for some other AC companies. Another AC company comes and does all this stuff. But I thought, well, that was pretty cool, pretty neat of them to do that and let me charge. So I ended up sending them $135 invoice. I just figured a round number. That was kind of a deal. I just threw it out there and they just paid it. So yeah, but I've never had a company do that. But anyway, I couldn't get that. That key to work. Funny thing is, even on my truck or on my machine, I wasn't showing the HU101 for a 2018 Ford F150, 250, 350. Any of them. I was showing the H75. I wasn't showing the HU101. So I'm not sure why the hell that's going on, right? So it's just one of those things. Maybe it was a long day. It was fucking hot. It was 114 when I was doing that, as I'm standing out in the street trying to pick this leashy, and I'm out in the sun. So maybe it was a mixture of things, a bunch of things, but I don't know. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. And the problem they had is no key registered. That's the key they always use. They always work. And it said no key registered. The remote work wouldn't start the vehicle. Just stopped. I had a Dodge do that today too, but that key failed. So yeah, I wish I did more vehicles, but it seems like the couple that I've done, like, so here I just had a Honda, a 2011 maybe Honda Fit. Customer calls me and says, "Hey, I got no keys. I bought a key from Amazon. I want you to program." So I tell those people for the Amazon stuff, or anybody, the people who they want to supply their own key. What I do is I tell them, this particular one, this was a $135 service call. Then if the key programmed, I would charge them $45 more. They were like, "Fine, that's reasonable, right?" We're in Phoenix, right? So the prices. Oh, here he comes. So the prices were okay. Uh, so I. Yes.
Hey, when you get everything down to one key, can you make me about 4 copies?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
4 on top of the 2 you already have.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. He wants more copies. Perfect. Yeah. So how do I? Okay. So how do I do that? How at the end of the day I had to type in the HU101, and then on my system it doesn't say HU101. It says HU101 something 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 something. You know. So it's like, yeah, just kind of one of those storms. So I do end up in those type of situations, right? Because I don't do enough of them. This week I think this week I've done 9 vehicles, which is a big week for me when it comes to vehicles. So what should I put in there instead of a 2018 F-150, F-350, F-250? What, you know what I mean? It's like, what the heck? So those are the ones I get stuck on. I end up with something like that, and what do you do? But like this Honda, oh, I was going to ask you on the Honda Fit. So it tells me the HO, the O3, the O3 key blank. I didn't have an O3 key blank. I didn't have an O3. I had an O1, and then I had a chipped key. Right, this was a remote head key, but even the chip on there, right, their chip, I think their chip had a V chip. The key they bought said L on it. So even the chip wasn't right, but I didn't have an O3, and I cut an O1, and I couldn't even get the O1 in there. The O1 wouldn't even go into the lock. So what is the difference on those? The O1 and the O3? What is the difference for somebody who does them all the time? Ford Fusion or something. Okay. And let me ask you this: Will it still pull up a code at that point? Or does it know that, hey, a Ford Fusion might be between 20,000 and 40,000, and a Ford truck might be between 50,000 and 80,000, right? I'm not sure. Again, I don't know. There's times, I don't do enough vehicles to know everything, and I do a small enough amount to not. That's the tough part. When you don't know what you don't know. It's interesting. Like I could say French. I don't know French, right? But when you don't know what you don't know, that's where it really starts becoming. You try and figure things out, and who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So I really need work on those leasing tools. That's for sure. Because the guy who I was talking to, and he's in Illinois. He says, yeah, just leash it. You leash it, and it's going to take you a minute and a half. No, not for Bill. Not for Bill. Ain't no minute and a half for Bill. Bill's going to make it difficult. He's going to be out there for 2.5, 2 and 3/4 hours messing with it. So, yeah, anyway. Yeah, this key wouldn't even go in. So, an HU or an HO, the O1, and it called for an O3. What's the difference between the O1 and the O3? What's the difference between O1 and O3? Come on, you donkey. Or 10,000? Okay. Yeah, and I don't know what series they are, but on the Honda, on the O1 and O3, what's the difference? No difference. Hondas can be hard. I sprayed it, everything. I mean, and it went in like a quarter away. It only went in, I mean, in my house, that's a foot. So it went in a foot. It went in a whole foot. It's a foot at my house. That way, if my wife is ever drilled and questioned, this is a foot. The blade is the same. Well, I don't know why the blade wouldn't even go in then. After I cut it, it wouldn't even go in. I mean, and maybe not even a quarter. It might have been even less than that. I mean, it's not like it. Even the ignition, it wouldn't go in either. I didn't know if the sides were too thick or something. I even filed down the sides on both sides, the right and left side. I didn't know if that was something. I thought I remembered years ago doing something like that, but maybe it wasn't. So I filed down the sides. That didn't work. I filed down the top and the bottom, made that a little skinnier. That didn't work. I'm thinking, what in the hell? What anyway wouldn't work, right? So I uh, I found his key. He lost the key. He said he lost, and he bought another one off of Amazon. When I opened up the vehicle, I found his key in the back seat. So at the end of the day, he ended up with a key. I ended up charging him for a vehicle lockout, but and the vehicle lockout ended up being more than what I would have. Well, no, so because I was still going to charge that anyway. But yeah, it's just been one of those weird things, one of those weird things. Danger. Seems I get those days sometimes. It's just you just don't know. You just don't know what you don't know. You just gotta worry about keeping all your fingers and toes going. Make sure nothing like that happens. How many vehicles a week do you think you do? Is that what you do? Is mostly vehicles? You don't do general rekeys and all that other type stuff? Because I'm always looking for somebody to give me a hug when I'm not doing something right. And again, I there's times I don't do it right. There's times I still have issues with the stupid GMs. That 13-minute wait where you gotta wait, or the 12-minute wait, and you gotta wait, and then I never know if you, like every other vehicle, you got to put a working key in, you got to turn it, then you go through the deal, then it asks you later, okay, put in the key that you want. GM's not like that, right? It's different. So there's times I end up doing the whole routine twice or three times because I didn't have to use the old key, right? It's I don't get why GM lets you do that type of thing. So I don't know. Don't know. But how many vehicles you do a day? I might maybe have to start using you also as a resource. You know a lot more about vehicles than I do, which I'm perfectly okay with. I'm perfect. It's interesting that a lot of locksmiths, right? They do a lot of different things and a lot of this and a lot of that, and they know all the parts. And I could jump on the Locksmith Nation or something and send a picture saying, hey, what do I need? And these guys will come up with what. Oh, that's the JBS 1743 AB. I'm like, who knows that? Who knows that? I work on kind of the same locks all day, every day. I'll see some Schlegs like these, right? I'll see some quick sets, and I see a bunch of Weiser, the old Weisers, the back 1970s and 60s Weisers. I see all those. I don't deal with all the others, the Corbins and the Yales I don't deal with any of those. I don't very rarely ever even see those. So it's weird how limited I am in my overall knowledge of all of these other locks and parts and pieces and stuff, because I just don't see them. Even the commercial stuff in my area is typically the same. I see the same type of stuff. Whereas when I see other jobs and other stuff that other people do on the Locksmith Nation and what have you, and I don't see any of that type of equipment ever. I always like to spray these anyway. Give them a little Wiener slide. I like to get the inside of this prom night slippery, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Put this guy back on yonder. Push it together. Turn the key. Get the snap. Pull the key out. Right unlocks. Left locks, unlike quick set. Pull it. Everything's good. Quick set is the opposite. Okay. There is that. So we got one cylinder, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So we just did 8 cylinders for him. Had another call. I've been talking to myself this whole time. Really? Who's the crazy one now? Hey guys, welcome in. Please make sure you hit that like button. Double tap on that screen. I've been sitting there talking to myself for 5 minutes. How many cars a week do you think you do, Matt? You obviously do a lot more cars than I do. I mean, some weeks I might do 5. Some weeks I might do none, you know? Because my bread and butter typically is the rekey, right? The residential rekey. That's what I generated my business on. That's what I started, and I seem to see the same locks over and over and over and over and over. I see the quick sets, I see the Schlags, and I see the Weiser. That's it. I don't see Corbins, and I don't see Yales, and I don't see all these other things. Medico. I don't see none of all that stuff. I was talking earlier, and I was saying that I don't. I call a guy out of Illinois when I have trouble with a car with a car key and what have you, because that's all he does all day, right? Car keys, and he's really really good at car keys and stuff. So I got to call him so he can talk me off the edge at times, right? When I can't figure it out. Like I have trouble with GM with Chevys all the time. That stupid thing. I have trouble with that all the time. Am I supposed to use the original key, or am I supposed to use the key I want to do? I always use the original key. I go through the cycle, blah blah blah. Then you gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta hit these buttons, gotta do this, gotta do that. Turn the key off. You gotta do this, and then I do it, and nothing. It's like then I gotta go through the whole cycle again. Sometimes 3 times. Any of that here. In 11 years, I've seen one medical lock. That's it. And I didn't do anything to it. One lock. That's it. Zero medico. So, hey, let me ask you this. Here's the thing. Do you have an HP? You have a Blitz, I'm sure, right? So let me show you. Let me show you a little something different I do on these Blitz or on these keys. I like to use a mechanical key. But set. Let me stand you up here for a second. Let's see. Let's see if I can get you where I need you. See if I can get you where I need you. You see, I'm trying to figure out where to see. So let me turn you around. Please hold. Okay, so oh, you don't have one. Okay, so I like laser cut. Hang on a second. I had a locksmith years ago tell me about laser cutting, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see everything. Maybe. All right. Hopefully you can see the key over here. So, first of all, we're going to cut a schleg. So, I usually use my duplicator, but I got thinking about this. So let's grab a schleg part out of here. Same cutter, right? 14MC up there, corner 14MC. Yep. So, but check this out. So, tell me what you think of these keys. I like to laser cut the key instead of cutting them like this, right? Instead of plunge cut them. A locksmith, when I first started, he told me it's going to be easier for you. It's going to be nicer for the locks. The locks are going to be it's going to be easier to work the locks, nicer. It's not going to be like this. This right here acts as a saw. As you put the key in and out, in and out, in and out, right? Just grinds it and saws it off. So this is what I do. Now, so hang on, let me put this guy in here. So if you don't have one of these HPCs, these Blitz, these are really, really precise machines. They're really cool. And you can see the card here. So up on top right here, this right here is the cuts. Right? So let me see here. Where's my... All right. So on the key goes in the jaw this way, right back here. Let me make sure I got that jaw on the right foot. Give me a second. It's got a shoulder stop, right? Right here, that shoulder stop. So then, this being your first cut down here, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever you got there, right? So your number one cut, and then this is your number one cut, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then whatever depth you're going to make any of these. But to plunger cut, right? You would cut there, then you would move, you'd move your dial, and then you'd move your depth right here, and then you would pull it back out, and then you would now go to your second one, then you would plunge it down, then you'd go to your third, you would plunge it down. But I don't do that. So check this out. So here's the bidding on this one. You see it is 35887. So this is what I do. So I'll move over here. It's over here on number one, and I'm going to move this now down to number 3. So we're lined up on 1. So that right there is a 3 cut. So what a lot of people do right now is they will now back it off, and now they'll move to the second cut, and then they'll plunge it down, and they'll keep doing that, and that's how you end up with these teeth, right? But I don't do that. Another guy told me when I first started, don't do it that way. So I will do a number 3 right there. And since my next cut's a 5, I'll leave it at a number 3. And now I'll go down to a number 5. And I have a 35887. So I'll keep it at that 5. Go down to an 8. And I usually do it faster, but I'm doing it just to show you. And my next cut is an 8 as well. And my next cut is a 7. So now I'll move this down to a 7. I'll move all the way across. And there are times that I typically just go all the way off the end of the key right now. But lately I haven't been. Lately I've been pulling this out. But let me show you the difference on the keys. So this is the same exact key. Right? Same exact key. It just doesn't have all those saw teeth on it. The same depth, the same everything. Right. On this one, right. If you didn't have that and exactly, if the tip is cut deeper, 100% correct. 100% correct. And when I generate my own, right, that's definitely something to keep aware of. And if I had that, right, so that last little tooth keeps everything from pulling out. So here you can't pull that out. If you take off that teeth right there, yes, 100%. But this is so much, yeah, has a setting to cut that way. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually, and it's so much smoother and stuff on the lock. So much smoother on the lock. And when I generate my own key, I usually make my deeper cuts first. I use my deeper cuts first. Ramen, okay, yeah, I've heard. 358. Seven. Yeah, it's interesting that you'd mentioned that key will just pull out. It just so happened the one I show you is the bitting is totally opposite than the perfect way, right? Yeah, and I got, for whatever reason, I'm wanting to play with this way. I don't know why. No rhyme or reason. So we got 35887. 3, 5, 8. Cut right there, and then 7. That's a lot of key to cut, and you have to turn it off each time because once this guy over here, that stop, that shoulder stop, once it lifts up, it's got a switch, a micro switch that it hits. So that's got to be completely out of the way, so you can't jam it into the anything. It is pretty cool how precise this thing can be, though. That's for sure. Pretty cool how precise. Yeah, how many other locksmiths are out there yelling right now? Ah, that's not right. I wonder how many people I keep up at night with this stuff. Yeah, again, I'm just playing with this because I'll be able to make little clips of the video. I'll be able to pull little snippets off the video. Yeah, this is probably the worst key to show you on. Yeah, it is fun. I agree. I agree. And I thought that's exactly what that guy was doing when he. Let me put that thing back there. Tighten the jaw. Let me take you down. See the messy van. What do you think? Which guy was nuts? The guy earlier? The guy that was saying all that weird, I should say that, saying that interesting stuff? So, hey, thanks, Ninja. How are you, man? I don't know if I've seen you here before, Ninja. Have I? My fault if so, man. I think I have, but if not, hopefully you are following me. Subscribe. Are you a locksmith? Oh, you're new. Okay. All right. Phoenix. Make sure you subscribe and follow me. I try to post lives, Monday through Friday and what have you. We've got a couple other really good locksmiths. Matt's a locksmith there in New York. We have a couple other locksmiths that run through here quite often. I've actually had somebody before tell me on the key, they called me back, says, hey, you did not cut my key. It is flat. It doesn't have any teeth. I said, no, it's cut. We're worried about the depth of the cut, not the little points. They said, yeah, but look at, you haven't cut this. I need you to cut me new keys. It's like, yeah. Apartment maintenance, all right. Cool, nice. Well, I also have started up a new page called Locksmith Blueprint. I'm working on it kind of nightly for the past several months. And God, who would have thought making a website would be so much work? And doing it all through AI and different stuff. And oh my goodness, thank God for AI because it's walking this old. I'm damn near 60 years old, so it's walking me through everything, But hey, All right, so these are good. These are good. Hobby lock picker, nice. Yeah, go check out locksmithblueprint.com, and that's my channel here as well, Locksmith Blueprint. Go subscribe, follow me. I got lots of videos. I came over here from TikTok. I tell everybody, I came over here from TikTok. I'm still on TikTok, but my lives have gotten suspended over there. Somebody in the chat was talking a whole bunch of stuff, and it wasn't my hate speech. It was somebody else, but I've been trying to fight it and protest it and what have you. And I've lost 4 appeals already. So right now my account, my live account, is suspended until 2099. So I got about 60. I got just short of 60,000 followers over there. I think I'm 100 short of 60,000 followers over there. So because I got kicked off of there, see, like right now we got 4 people here. This live I've been on about 45 minutes here. Over on the other platform, I typically have about 1,100 to 1,400 people in the room right now. That there'd be a lot of people in there, but coming over here to YouTube, I have been humbled. They don't care nothing about Locksmith Bill. That's my name over there, by the way, Locksmith Bill. I haven't Kick or Twitch. I don't know anything about those. Kick or Twitch. Let me screenshot that. They let old fat people in there. especially, especially, especially if you got a face made for radio. Do they? Sorry, can you hear me now? Yeah, I think so because I had the little when I moved it. Uh, well, I mean, it's totally different. It goes totally different here than it does over there on TikTok as well. So I come here and I'm not used to, again, 6 people, right? It's just I don't get it. This same video right now, it's cool because over there on TikTok, when you're done with the video, it tells you how many people went through. They might not have stayed. They might have only hung out for 10 seconds, what have you. Uh, but they oh, gotta go. All right, Mike. Thanks for swinging, man. Remember on those lockouts, the bigger the rock, the more money you got to charge. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go give this back, and then I'm gonna head home. It's 4 o'clock, so and we had some rain, little rain this morning. Right now, it's a nice, man. But the humidity hurts us here. So right now we're only showing 99 degrees. 2 days ago it was 115. YouTube is crazy. Yeah, with the way it does stats, right? And I don't get it, right? So at the end of the day, now I'm trying to build that whole locksmithblueprint.com. That I'm wanting to. Sorry, it reconnected. So I'm wanting to in Texas. Okay. Uh, so I'm wanting to build that whole locksmithblueprint.com. What I'm hoping is people, because I get those questions all the time. How did you become a locksmith, or how do you do it? Or how do you start your own business, or how this, how that? I'm kind of an instructor by nature, right? I've done a lot of instructing. I was an ice hockey coach for lots of years. I was a training instructor for the sheriff's office for lots of years. So just naturally, I just kind of lean towards that. But I would like to make a website type of thing, an education platform where lock become a locksmith or want to start their own business or whatever, kind of a place where they can go and check out and get information and this and that. And I have a thing set up now that if somebody wanted to start their own locksmith company, if they wanted to start their own locksmith company, they could go to that locksmithblueprint.com, any state in the country, and I make the I give you the specific step by step by step by step how to start your own business. I teach you and I walk you through it. I don't even teach you. I walk you through it step by step. What you have to click, what website you're in, what option you click, everything. It's going to break it down step by step for whatever state you're in. And then I can show you, we have it set up where it shows you everything from this point right here. How do you become a locksmith? All the way to starting your company, all your online presence, all your other stuff. I walk you through all of that, all the way up to the very first point where you touch your first lock, right? And that's kind of where that stops. But the education part of the business is what I like also, making these videos. I got a lot of videos here, a lot of videos on TikTok on how to do this, how to rekey, how to do that, So I want that to be a source as well that people can come and check it out, but it is a long process, and I have made, I don't know, I jumped on because I got banned off of TikTok for hate speech. Again, it wasn't me, it was somebody typing in the chat, but the AI, the bot, flagged the account. And I'm fighting that, but it's it was so much easier, and because of that, that's why I'm here on YouTube. I think I've been on YouTube now about 3 months, maybe 4 months, and I've posted. I think I probably got 150 videos already, so I'm posting all that content. Couple pages already of how to become a locksmith in South Carolina, how to become a locksmith in Florida, how to become a locksmith in Texas. So I'm on the top, I'm on the #1 page and in the top 6 searches for those 3 states right now. So it's cool, but at some point I would like to, if I get to retire, I'm coming up on 60 years old. If I start retiring, right, that I can do this to kind of keep generating revenue and what have you. So, yeah, nobody else doing that type of stuff. Exactly. There is zero. There is zero, right? And picking locks is the coolest thing ever. And I yeah, well, I appreciate that, Ninja. And go check out that locksmithblueprint.com. And I've been working on the opening page the last 4 days solid. But and it's because that keyword right now, how to become a locksmith, is the #3 locksmith search keyword in the United States right now on the internet. So based off of that, we've now made a page. I think I got this whole system. I think I got more than that. I think I got about 56, I think. Anyway, I do the weekly audit and find out how every single page is doing, all the pages in the website, and Google, which ones Google is picking up, which one Google is not touching, which one Google just is kind of floating out there, which one Google is pounding. And based on those numbers every week, we then start modifying the shell game, right? When Google is hot on one of your pages or one of your topics, you got to then start pumping stuff there, attach things to that so it spider webs off, right? So just a whole thing. Yeah, good. And I got some training locks on there, locksmithblueprint.com too. You can go check those out. I got training. And this right here. So this is another SEO type of thing I started doing, right? On my main company web page, I have an SEO company that runs that for me. That's where I get all my business called Learn to Pick, right? And I had people all the time asking me about that. And over there on TikTok, you can't promote businesses. You can't promote nothing, right? So the whole time, this whole live, I haven't said not a thing. Every live, I haven't said not a thing. And I can tell you by going on later tonight or later this week or later this month, how many people went to this exact page of my website based on my videos, right? So everybody that has gone to that page is only through my lives, and that's by looking at that right there, right? And I haven't, up until right now, since I've been on YouTube making live videos, about 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is, I have not mentioned that website not once. But I can tell you last month there was almost 1,100 people went to that website right there. They checked out that to see what it was. And I got some lockpick sets and what have you can buy there. But that helps me from my local search, right? Because again, I would get on they kind of jerks about self promo, right? Yeah, yeah, and right, and I got one right in front of me too. when I work on locks, so a lot of times I give you this view right here that I'm working on lock. If you'll notice, up here. So again, I don't advertise it because I'm showing you all the work here, but everybody else is like, hey, what's back yonder, right? So, but 1,100, I'm getting about 1,100 people a month that right now are running through this, only based off of live. It's not advertised anywhere. It's nowhere. Only on my live. You see it. So those type of things. So I get people over there on TikTok and now YouTube, but TikTok, I'd get, right now we'd have more than 1,000 people in this room. And I get people from all over the world that they can't call me for a rekey. They can't call because I can't go help a guy in New York or Texas, right? I can't help. But that being said, I have a local website, right? So when somebody says, "Hey, locksmith near me," or nearest locksmith, right? I'm on the Google Maps and all the typical stuff that all you guys are on, right? All you guys are on. But because this is getting so much traffic going to my website, my local SEO, Google is saying, hey, what's going on here? There's a party going on here. There's a lot of people coming to this website. We don't know why, but we don't care. We have a popular website. Let's move this guy into this category. He's going to move me up into tier 1. This guy is happening. This website's happening. Let's move this and we can promote in this website. And they will. And they'll start doing different things like ads and adding different things, right, that I get paid for. But meanwhile, all of this traffic helps my local SEO, right? So the scenario I like to use, let's say we got two locksmith companies, right? And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. And let me show you real quick. Look. So here, we got two locksmith companies, okay? These guys are 10 miles apart. We got a guy in the middle who is stuck, right? He calls locksmith near me. Both of these locksmiths have been in business 10 years. Doesn't matter, right? One guy has got the typical SEO, does his normal advertising, maybe mom, maybe his wife is doing some Facebook stuff, whatever it is, and we got an SEO company here, right? But both of these guys have the same shot from getting an opportunity from Google. When this guy calls locksmith near me, Google says, okay, which one do I pick? Maybe Google says, and we don't know, maybe, okay, let's give the first 3 here, and then we'll give the next 3 there. I don't know what their algorithm is. But based on things like this back here, because I get an extra, 1,100 hits every month based off of, somebody going in there to look at this. Google doesn't know that they're going in to look at lockpick sets. They don't know. They just know traffic is coming up. So now my company is doing, Google is just firing me up. They put me up on tier 1. There's a lot of action going on. So now, as this guy is no longer in the middle, this guy might be 4 miles away from my competitor. And I'm still getting the call because of all of this traffic, right? And if my traffic gets enough, I can now be 3 miles away. That customer can be 3 miles away. And I'm still pulling a lot of his traffic because of how busy mine is, right? And at some point you're going to get so close, you might get 2 miles or 3 miles away, and now it's going to grab it just geographically, right? Now mine's going to be under this one. But the point is, it's no longer 50-50. It might now be 60-40, or it might be 70-30. And at some point, I'm now taking business from that again, just because I put a stupid thing like this in my background, and people to click and do different things, and so something to think about. If you guys announce it, right, but have a page, have your SEO people put a page inside of your website that is separate, that does just this. Again, brings activity and what have you. How about those scam? Yeah, them scam locksmiths are shitbags. They're all over, right? So, hey, what's up there, Keyman? So there you go. So that's kind of my why little things like this work, right? Think outside of the box. The guy in Texas and New York, he's not going to call me tomorrow to say, hey, my car is jacked up, I need my key. He's not going to call. But somebody might click that link and say, what the heck is going on there, right? They get there and they see it's the Locksmith. Okay, I'm not interested. Perfect. You don't have to be interested. The fact that you went there just put another thing onto my local page. Google says, party going on over here. Let's give them more customers, right? So anyway, all right, let me get this stuff back to this guy here. I've been over here chatting. This job was without the video, this job was a 15-minute job, right? With the video, I'm 45 minutes into this video, so so I'm gonna get rolling. I'm gonna get but just something to think about. Something to think about, guys. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. And I used one of the keys for the lock, so I just did 7. So 7, 7. So anyway, subscribe. It keeps refreshing. Yeah, 80 minutes I've been coming up here. So, hey, how are you, Matt? All right, I will see you. I'll see you guys. I'm rolling out. So those of you who don't know me, again, I'm Locksmith here in Phoenix. Make sure to subscribe, please. Follow me. Write in the comments, hey, I need all the help I can get over here, right? So, anyway, until next time, Matt. Yeah, I might have to put you on. I might have to put you on my phone list here, Matt, since you do these vehicles and stuff. And there's times out there I need a hug because it's not working. So, anyway, all right, off we go. Oh, turn that guy off. You can hear the jets going over, the F-35s, right? They are tearing it up out here. Whoa, whoa, whoa! My lights want to keep on working, but anyway. All right, guys, we'll see ya. And it's a weekend here, so I might be out here over the weekend. I might not, but I'll post a video.